Sometimes I literally feel like I made such an expensive mistake, like almost $100,000 mistake. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sahar and I post nutrition and overall wellness related content twice a week. That's on Mondays and Fridays. Today's video is all about the pros and cons of majoring in nutrition, and not only just majoring in nutrition, but working in it as well. I feel like no matter what you choose for your career or whatever your passion is, there's always going to be pros and cons. Sometimes I literally feel like I made such an expensive mistake, like almost $100,000 mistake, and other times I just feel so at peace with what I'm doing. Like, I feel like every moment in my life led me to this exact moment, and it feels amazing. I feel so at peace, and I know that I'm making a difference in the world. I'm gonna start this video off with the pros because I'm an optimist. The first pro is definitely the most rewarding aspect of this career, and that's helping people. You get to help people rebuild their relationship with food. You get to help people feel better about themselves, feel more confident. You get to help people achieve their goals and things that they actually thought they never could achieve. The second pro is that there's something for everyone. By that, I mean whether you like making videos, whether you like educating people, or if you want to work in a hospital, you get to choose. RDs are always needed in those types of settings. Whether you like working with kids, whether you like working with older people, you're always going to find a place that aligns with the type of work that you want to do. You want to be an entrepreneur and start, maybe your own private practice or start your food service business, you can do that. You can also do that. There's the possibilities are literally endless. There are people with the RD credential that are just working with companies, coming up with details for their nutrition facts label. There are so many different fields. There are so many different secondary fields that you can enter with a nutrition degree. That's great, especially for people like me who have commitment issues, who get tired of one type of work. I can leverage my nutrition degree to do multiple things. I don't put just one type of work that I might be bored of in a few years. I don't have to commit to just one area, and that's something that I appreciate about this field. The third pro can kind of be a con as well. If you're majoring or working in this field, it kind of forces you to live your healthiest life. How can that ever be a con, right? You're definitely gonna feel pressure to look a certain way from the patients, because people aren't gonna take you, you talk to people about losing weight, they might not take you as serious as someone who's thinner or more athletic build, telling them, hey, you gotta lose weight, cut down on the soda. They don't want to hear that from someone who looks, who looks a little bigger. I think that's something that really held me back from trying to start something counseling related. And now to discuss the cons. So the major con is the DI that we have to go through, because it is super expensive. I believe the cheapest one in New York is about 15 grand. And that's not even including transportation, that's not including books, that's not including anything else. That's just straight up tuition. That's around 15 grand, and that's the cheapest. That's where it begins. Furthermore, you have to leave work for a year, work full-time for no pay. Work full-time 1 year for no pay. And that's not easy, especially if you have multiple responsibilities. Suppose you have children, how does that even make sense? How is that even legal? The second con is definitely the lack of diversity in the field. An alarming number of people are Caucasian women. That leaves out even white men along with other minorities. However, this is something that is being worked on. I know some organizations such as Diversify Dietetics are actively bringing awareness to minorities in terms of introducing them to the field and encouraging them to participate in dietetics. Third con is compensation. But I feel like you can leverage yourself and your skills to make more money depending on, you know, depending on your mindset and your previous experience, because you'd be surprised how many people are actually second career students. And in terms of compensation, you literally have to go through 2 degrees, because a master's degree is going to be mandatory in 2024. Hopefully we'll get paid more, since that's like an actual requirement. But imagine going through a bachelor's degree, going through a master's degree, paying for study materials for the RD exam, paying for the RD exam itself, paying for the dietetic internship, plus all the money that you're losing when you're not working during the dietetic internship. Like, for example, if you leave your 50 grand a year job to work for free, that's 50,000 less than you would have had that year. And that really is something that we should take into account when calculating costs. That's another area in dietetics that needs a reformation. Another con that's the worst, probably the worst out of them all, is that people don't listen. They will beg you. There's people who will literally come to you, be like, I have this problem. How do I solve it? You tell them the solution, and they don't listen. They'll come to you with a problem, right? For example, high blood pressure. How do I reduce my blood pressure? You tell them, hey, you know, maybe you should limit the salt. Let's start small goals, you know. Let's limit the salt. And they'll go back and still eat the same amount of salt and not see any results. They won't take your advice. They won't take your advice. And so their condition progresses. And so as a result, their condition will progress, and it's really bad, because it kind of gets me emotional sometimes, because it's like I genuinely want to help this person and they just won't listen. And I can't make them. Some people you can't make them do it. You can't do it for them. You're gonna like break into somebody's house and take salt from their pantry, like, you know. People just don't listen. And it's really frustrating, because you genuinely want to help everybody that comes into your office, comes into your space. Frustrating, because they're suffering and they don't have to. They're suffering from conditions that have cures, that have solutions other than medication, but that's the life they choose, and that's the path they choose to go on. It's easier for people to just pop a pill a day instead of actually changing their habits, which is the most challenging part of this career. Like having knowledge and having a solution for somebody, and you begin to care for your patients. If you don't care about your patients, you're in the wrong field. So you have this sort of empathy towards your patients, and you genuinely want them to get better, but they can't because of limiting habits. And that to be the biggest barrier in treating somebody, also the biggest con of this field. Okay guys, that pretty much sums it up. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know of any pros and cons that you might want to add to the list in the comments down below. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on Friday.